be the map, and it looks like we are now live in game, and I guess NRG won the knife because they are starting here on the CT side. M80 on T side. That being said, I mean, when Vertigo was first released, it was exceptionally T-sided, right? A lot of
Yes.
adjustments needed to be made in order to kind of mitigate that, but you can still go for a very quick hit up ramp. It's just it doesn't work as well now as it used to in the early days of Vertigo.
Yeah, definitely. No, there's definitely been some good adjustments made, and we're gonna have to see if adjustments can be made here for NRG as they took a pretty devastating loss. Oh man, Slacks with a beautiful shot comes in for a swing. Hex couldn't even see anything, a blink of an eye, and he's gone. But now M80 are getting themselves closer into the site. Automatic getting a little bit cheeky, looking for the planter, but nobody's home. And nice work coming in from M80, just kind of being patient on this, waiting things out. They're toying with the bomb too. Okay, finally gets dropped, John. This is chaos. Look at what M80 been able to do. They've just taken this, pulled the rug under them, and the round's already done.
That's wild. I mean, like, they faked the plant and everything, no intention of ever actually planting the bomb in that moment. And then, you know, NRG's trying to spam through the smoke thing. Okay, they're trying to plant it, and they realize they're shooting nothing but air. There's no one there, and Haiti just storm on through and take care of every single body left for NRG. So the pistol round looking better here up against NRG. That's the second one they've taken, as they know we'll get the edge here in the early goings of Vertigo.
One you were saying, you know, like, look, M80, they don't win a lot of pistol rounds, and they finally do. So when things happen, can they convert for the second round? That's the most important piece. And okay, Mobs, yep, he's just farming. And yeah, look at 138 to end the round, and that's it. That's a breezy.
Yeah, NRG don't like wasting their time, right? When they're pushing out on the ecos, they just go aggressive, especially on their CT side, and they're just like, okay, we're gonna take fights. If we lose, the round's over, and we'll go to our proper buy-up. So as they decided, Sin and Mobs are having a discussion, just nodding up and down, a non-verbal discussion, I should say, saying, yeah, this is good, guys. This is good. Yeah, feeling good. We're ready.
We are ready. We are ready to go. Oh man, I actually like that Sin still has the Mac 10 here too, because I mean, he's, again, if he can find even one kill, it's going to be such a nice case here just for adding extra income on this. And then at least if he gets taken out, he can kind of oversee everything, and he can still kind of calm if he needs to, right? He can still kind of be that ghost IGL, which is perfect. So I'll be curious to see what he does with this. But double FAMAS here from the CT side, and John, I feel like every time I'm with you, I'm like, look, I hate seeing the FAMAS. I really do. Like, look, I can't get over it. Like, I would rather have an MP9 with full util.
I don't remember the last time I bought a FAMAS personally. I usually go for the MP9, but I've seen a lot of pros actually lean into the FAMAS lately, and it does give you that bit of a range advantage, maybe a little more accuracy. I just feel like overall, if you have a limited amount of money to spend, you're better off going with the MP9 or even the UMP now and some utility over the FAMAS, which, yeah, it still feels like a weapon that is not as useful as you think it would be when you first kind of use it, right?
Yeah, definitely not. But
It doesn't
the
feel,
range is a good point.
yeah, the range is good, yes, for sure, but it's just like not a rifle, not an SMG, just somewhere in between.
Just some weird middle spot in between. Yes. But, ooh, okay. Well, the FAMAS does something. It does take down the heavy hitter Mobs, and it's not a bad pickup. But again, the player advantage definitely goes in favor here for M80. Slacks is wounded though, so again, he's down to 23. Sin's making a lot of noise. He's getting a lot of real estate.
This is intentional.
Yeah, this is. He's causing such a good fake. It's an open sight. What he was able to do on the other side here. This was perfect.
Yeah, that was wonderfully done, and now they're realizing, wait a second, this is a distraction. We got to go over there, and OC manages to connect on direct, but takes so much damage in turn that they may just pull the plug. They don't have the kit, they don't have the util, and indeed, they are going to fall away. They're looking now for Sin, and, well, Sin's gone. He's already the heck out of Dodge. He backed off to join his teammates, upgraded to a Galil, and he's happy to have been very effective and instrumental. It's one of those situations where you don't get any frags, but you've done your job just by making noise, just by your movement across the map to attract the attention and clear the path for your teammates on the other side.
Man, I'm so glad you said that, because again, like, some players, you know, like, viewers are like watching like, wow, man, Sin didn't do anything. He didn't get any frags. It's like, no, he literally caused so much rotation happening. These CTs had no idea what was going on. Their positioning, once they got to the site, even where the bomb was planted, they had no control. Like, there was nothing they could do. They won, you know, one engagement, but that was it. And like you said, as soon as that happened, the bomb went down. They were like, look, we got nothing else to do with this. And they had to save. So Sin came up massive. The fact that he didn't even really go for a fight, He just did so much work with utility, making a ton of noise, and it was beautifully done. And now NRG, they aren't going to call a timeout on this. They actually are just going to go right into it. But it is P250s, a Deagle with a 5.7 with the double M4. So this will be interesting. I'm going to be curious what they want to do with OC and Breeze. This is really important now.
How they use these Sage rifles will be critical. Boosts up and it works.
I'll do.
OC gets the opener onto Malbs, who had no idea what was going on ahead of him. Molotov sails in around side hall. Breeze up close here over at the B stairs. Looks away from a potential flash. I don't know. Maybe he had an inkling or a sound was heard. Sound cue. Gets the opener for his squad. Second one for his squad. And Rek is going to respond here. He's got a lineup. That's actually Slacks, who gets OC and Hexed. 3v1 now, and Slacks takes full control. When it looked a little scary, right? But no problem.
And it's just going to be a save from Walco. Again, he does find this one rifle that came in for Swisher. That was work of Breeze able to find that duel, but man, nicely done. And Slacks has himself a big field day, just taking down 3 different opponents from all sorts of different angles and spots. And M80 are, again, continuing this T-side mayhem. That's what I was talking a lot about, is like, look, their T-sides have been something to take a lot of notes from, because their CT was a little bit, you know, it was fine. Like on Ancient, it was a 6-6 on the first game. And then once they flipped it over, like, I mean, it was just a completely different monster, right? Like they let it out of the cage and look what they were able to do. And we're starting to see that now with a 4-0 lead.
This is not trending well for NRG. Said it's not likely to have 2 blowouts in a row here, but maybe I'm gonna have to eat my words there. But fifth round of play. I hope not. I hope for NRG's case and for all you guys watching out there that we have a good matchup here, as we did on the previous one. But M80 are just, you know, looking that good right now. OC on the op. Yep.
I was going to say, like, I mean, you know, the other thing to take a note of, too, for NRG, like, this is their weaker side, right? Like, statistically, like, the CT side is definitely not, like, the winning recipe. It's not the piece they rely on. But, like you said, I mean, I hope they can find something. And OC with the op, I'm glad you said that, because that was the next point I wanted to go into, is, like, he has to be a playmaker. And he got to show a little bit of that on Ancient, but can he do it here on Vertigo?
Flashbang toss by Breeze. M80. See the smoke as well. They're going to toss some util of their own. They might just throw this and back off. Going to spam through the smoke, trying to connect on something. Maybe the quad player. No, they're actually going to push off this util onto the site, and there's some really effective stuff going down both smokes and molotovs. Walco gets the opener though, then flicks around for the second. What a play from Walco. It is answered in turn by M80, but Breeze momentarily makes it a 3v2 until the answer is indeed again there by Slacks, and Sin over the top of the smoke delivers the next one for his team. Automatic, the last one standing in a 1v2 clutch attempt with the bomb just being planted.
I mean, still a winnable situation for him. Again, there's a kit just available on the left-hand side. If he's able to find this duel that can open things up, that's not bad. Leaving it to the 1v1. He's still got some time. Sin now, 7 bullets in the chamber. Has to be able to land these shots perfectly. A flash available for automatic as well. But he has to get moving. Does pick up the kit. Sin waiting for the timing. This is going to be important. This molly might be a little bit of a problem, but oh, he's roasting alive!
Is there time?
I don't know if there's time. There might be just enough. It is going to be just enough. NRG will be able to find themselves a first round.
Wow, great clutch from automatic in the 1v2. Pulls it off. Great. The Molotov in particular was very well thrown, because he puts Sin under so much pressure that Sin, even though he wants to stay there, he doesn't want to move. He's forced out around that right side, and that's exactly what automatic wanted. And he had a big advantage in that duel as a result. So NRG do indeed finally crack the goose egg, even though it felt like M80 were going to get that 5th. Although it is very costly for NRG. I think that's one thing to keep an eye on, because their economy is not that great right now. And again, they have to settle for the FAMAS. So he can't get the op back. So he's still running the M4. Not that that's necessarily too much of a hindrance. He's a very good rifler.
No, he definitely is. Ooh, that's a great nade. And even Sin, he lost over 50 HP on that. And now automatic for a big swing. And yeah, they're just hitting dingers. And look at that. At 128, they get themselves 3 duels. Now putting M80 just down 2 players. Looking for a little bit of retaliation. It's not going to happen at all. And Rek now with so much time on the board. that he's just gonna have to probably just sit back and kind of let his IGL just talk here. They're gonna use this time to figure out, okay, what just happened? What went wrong here for round number 6?
Yeah, no question. I think just too much aggression towards ramp. They exposed themselves, and NRG had some great positioning as well to deny them the space. Automatic in particular, he's got that 3-piece, and Rec, well, he's going to hang back here. Nothing to do in this round. Lost the bomb. Hopefully, for his sake, he can save the AK into the next one. And that's the most he can expect.
Now the question I think is going to be here for M80, like we didn't see a lot of timeouts for them before on the first best of 1. But now, I mean, okay, look, it's going to be 4-2. I mean, the money is still floating a little bit here. Like Slacks is sitting at 33, but I'm wondering if they're going to call a timeout here pretty quick just to, again, maybe have some time. But like I said, this round was kind of like that informal timeout, if you want to call it. But I wouldn't mind them just to be really, really crystal clear what they want to do when the funds are kind of through. Like once that money has made it to the account, like what do they actually want to do? And even right now, you have 2 players that could go for a decent investment with that utility. Sin and Swisher would have to just go for like a force of some kind, but it's not necessarily a bad situation to go for here too.
Looks like they're going to do exactly that. They're buying up. Slacks already has the AK. You got 2 Galils. Sin may have to settle for the Mac 10. No, he goes for the Galil as well and still has enough for the util. Miscalculated a bit on my side, but yeah, he's good to go. So, not too bad of a buy up at all. In fact, a great one in terms of utility. The only limitation is maybe the Tech 9, but 2 Galils, 2 AKs, extremely serviceable. Automatic. And with that M4, a couple of AKs for his squad. Great Molotov thrown by M80. Automatic has to back off down to 64 HP. Some space granted to M80 should they decide to take it, but they're going to play this one a little bit slower than that previous round. Oh, automatic.
Another molly.
Thought he might get engaged there. Another molly. He's taken all this damage just from Molotovs. Now his teammate Hex has to fade away after taking damage from the bullets, and he's going to tuck himself into the corner right around side hall and try to catch M80 off guard.
Yeah, and OC's still waiting things up here with the AWP, and Sin's kind of just toying with him a little bit. He's got the nades coming through. Now OC's going to get aggressive. Oh, Sin's head is gone and removed. It's a nice shot coming in, and NRG again put themselves in the early duel advantage. Automatic now posted up. That flash is going to be the worst situation, and now OC has to be a hero. A nade coming in that might be able to just do some damage. Not going to pop open the smoke like he was hoping for. But look at the HP of Rek. That Molotov alone has put him with that utility at 15 HP. And this is a great situation here for NRG.
Yeah, they should absolutely go for this. They have unconfirmed damage, but I mean, 3v3, ton of util available to them. The Molotovs, the flashes, everything gonna get thrown out. OC on the back line, setting up Walco and Breeze, and Walco and Breeze, actually just Breeze, getting the 2K. The bomb needs to be defused still. They're looking for Rek. Now they're gonna stick to defusal. Will they be able to? Yes! What a shot from OC, and NRG have 3 in a row.
What a massive round from OC, right? Like, you were kind of talking about that before. You're like, okay, OC's got an op. This is not a bad situation. And we finally get to see him putting up a triple kill. And honestly, I feel like he had that round entirely, right? I mean, he gets the triple. He found the duels when he needed to. And he was able to find another one before he can play the retake simulator. And that was perfect. So now they put themselves in 3 rounds. We were kind of wondering if they're going to be able to pull themselves back in this game. And they do. M80 do get the plant. So now we're talking about some pistols invested, some utility invested into this. So some dollars are being spent here with $7,600 in grand total. But now it looks like they want to switch things up, go to a different site. They want to see what they can do, potentially, maybe. Toy with it a little bit more of the arsenal. But Breeze is just kind of posted up, playing very passive in this one. And honestly, he's got a teammate to help him out. But the question is, can these Tech 9s wreck something? And it's looking like 10. It can, yes.
Nice shot from Sin. Breeze stuck at quad and ends up getting taken out by Swisher. Hex gets a couple of key ones. The problem is the site's been taken, the bomb's being planted. That Molotov could kill Rek. It doesn't. He plants the bomb and evades death. Jumps down here just to... Actually, no, it's Slack, excuse me, that jumps down just to die to Automatic. 3v2. Automatic, he loves this spot, and he gets all 3 of the remaining players. That will do it. NRG will take a fourth, but at least M80 on an eco round do get the bomb plant.
Yeah, I love the way we saw M80 play that because, again, the fact that they could just split into that site like this, get the bomb down. Yeah, their post plant looked a little bit shaky, but honestly, they picked up 1 AK. They were trying to see what they can work with, but Automatic was already in such a great rotate and coming in from the back lines. So now we're back in an even game here for round number 9, and that bomb plant's going to be huge because, again, it just adds way more funds into this. Everybody's fully equipped here from M80. And now the op is going to be in play here too. So that's where we talked a lot about the OC versus Slacks. And now we finally might be able to see it. Different utilities though. So very interesting to see coming in from both these teams. And actually the double smokes being placed on the ramp, and even Slacks kind of using that gap to his advantage just a little bit. Pop opening his smoke from the CT side. Good placement for him to get out of this. So I do like that adjustment on the movement, but they're still trying to re-aggress, and look at that. OC wins the engagement. He's going to be able to win that sniper duel off. And NRG again, John, they find themselves an advantage opening early.
Yeah, they really buttoned up over at ramp, and B-side as well. Breeze, oh my goodness. Over at quad, down to 51. They really tried to take him out here every single time, but they won't do it again. Breeze, 2K, Sin, and Swisher deleted from the server. Hex finds Wreck, and only Malbs left standing in a 1v5. What a turnaround. 4-0 was what we started in favor of M80. NRG have now run 4 in a row, looking to make it 5. Still have to get one more frag or run out the clock. I mean, Malbs is going to be staring down at a firing squad once the smoke fades away. Good nade onto Breeze. He doesn't know it. He might just fade off here and save the AK. That's what he will attempt. Unbeknownst to him, though, Hex is waiting here at T-spawn. And Hex, we'll see him. And yeah, this is going to be an easy one for Hex. Malbs no idea. Hex, I don't know what he's waiting for. There we go. We'll get the headshot. That'll do it.
Man, what a good amount of work coming in from Breeze. The fact that, like you're kind of saying, and I was thinking the exact same thing. I was in the back of my chair. I'm just like, oh my God, he's gone again. Like, he just plays this one spot and he's dead. But he gets the perfect timing on that. Like, the utilities flying onto him. I think it was Sin that was coming in, charging through a Molotov. He thought it was clear. He didn't think he was there, and Breeze was able to find himself that double. And honestly, just finding 2 kills like that without getting taken out, that's what you need on the CT side, right? I mean, it just puts you in a massive advantage, just slows down the aggression, and then you could see M80. They were just folding. Like, they had no idea what to do at all. So really, really impressive. Good work coming in from an individual player, and somebody that, again, we talked about this on Ancient, somebody that's really starting to find himself once again, which is so exciting to see. And that was a little bit of a glimpse of it.
Yeah, that was not easy either, with the flashbangs, the Molotovs, all the utility kind of blowing up in his face, and he's still able to keep his composure and get a 2K. It was a nice snappy transfer as well. Breeze exposing himself here. Again, they're going for the aggression, trying to make their presence felt. Great Molotov thrown. Automatic runs through it, goes down to 64, and Breeze just going to hold a close angle. But I think M80 going to be aware of it. It is just a pistol this time. What a nade toss from Automatic! He connects and converts for 2 frags. Eventually, Malbs will trade him out, but he softened up Malbs down to 7 HP. This should be an easy one for Breeze. It is, and the smoke covering his repeat.
Oh, another smoke just getting placed here too, but Wreck, ooh, a Tech 9 aggressive. That's a little bit scary. Good util from Wolko though. Look at that molly. Oh man, Sin's already down to 44. Uh-oh. And even now, Wreck going for this aggression. I was thinking maybe if he can find this fight, that could be nice. But now Sin in a really unfortunate situation here. He's got a tech. He's got a molly to spare. That lyric smoke to get him across if he wants. But John, he's only got 22 seconds. So, you know, I'm not much of a betting man, but I don't like these odds. And it's probably a good thing because he's already dead. So, yeah, NRG, they take a lead. And this is such a big comeback. Like you said, this was a 4-0 at one point, and now we're talking about 6-4.
Yeah, NRG looking to make it 7 in a row now. It'll be a bit tougher into this round with the 4 AKs bought up and the AWP back in Slacks' hands. And Slacks does actually lead his squad with 10, but not the server. Automatic holds that title. He's got 11 frags to his name. I think a couple of 3-kill rounds, right? Or it was from the B stairs. Just really played well from that position on the attempted retakes and was successful both times. M80. I want to try and get back into this one. But we're seeing a similar story as we had on Ancient, right? That first half was very tightly contested. It was only the second half when M80 really pulled away. And it was thanks to some really crazy fragging from Malps, who has notably been silenced here compared to Ancient.
Yeah, he's definitely not the same player making the big impact like we were thinking, but now things are a little bit more even footing across from M80, but we'll have to see what they're going to be able to bring back for round 11. Again, if they lose this one, again, could be giving NRG a really, really big lead ending the first half. And that's a great shot coming in from Breeze. The fact that he's able to get that first shot on the head of Sin, he had no chance to be able to, recoup that. And now M80 doing a bit of a lurk on this. They're going to pull back. They're going to get ready for the full execute on this A site. And now the jig is up, right? I think NRG, they got a full read on this. Really winning this out.
Yep.
They really are. And now they're going to swing. That flash was everything, and that's from Rec. That's nicely placed. Allows Swisher to get that double. Finding that impact like we were talking about. It ain't flashy, but it's definitely going to do. And now it's Breeze coming in from the back lines, but Rec's able to just annihilate him. Hang on a second, John. Things have changed a little bit here, and M80 is looking a little bit worse for wear for them, but now Walco maybe coming in, swinging with a little bit more with that AK, bringing it back to the 2-2. There is kits available. And now Walco comes for 1, maybe 2. Swisher tries his best. It's a TK. Oh, no.
No way. No way the TK comes through, and then OC is the one to clutch it out again in the 1v1 with the AWP and get that defusal. 7th round in a row for NRG. And I mean, yes, this map is typically pretty CT-sided, and NRG does find a lot of their rounds on this side of the map, so not exactly surprising, but what is surprising is M80 just kind of folding up like a tent here. Over the last 7, it just feels like a different team. Although they were competitive in that previous round. It's just like the TK comes through, and I mean, they're just looking rough around the edges in their post plant versus Ancient.
Yeah, definitely not the same kind of picture we're seeing that was on Ancient, but look, again, still a close game. It's definitely not over yet, but it's great to see NRG have now put themselves in a great lead. And I guess it is a question here about maybe 8-4. Maybe be 7-5 if M80 can find themselves in this last round for the first half, and that is definitely going to be a nice start. A good molly that's placed onto Walco, but he does get himself through this. Oh, hang on. These mollies are starting to cook a little bit more.
Yeah, OC burnt to a crisp. Walco does manage to find the trade, and even more than that, Walco at 2K. I mean, he hasn't had that many frags this half, but the ones he gets have been super impactful. Rec lurking around mid, can't get the frag. Oh, Sin with 2 wicked headshots. Walco and Hex gone. He saves the day for his squad, and we head to the halftime break with a 7-5 lead in favor of NRG. All right, M80 with a bit of a recovery in that final round of the first half. They ended the round win streak for NRG at 7, even though for a moment it looked like they weren't going to, but Sin came out with a heroic play, 2 crazy frags that helped M80 get across the finish line in that first half with 5 rounds, so only 2 rounds back. Their pistol rounds have looked pretty good, better than usual against NRG, and that continues here with Malbs finding the opener up against Automatic. Swisher waiting for more contacts as Malbs fades back just a touch.
Well, the one thing I love too is like, and you can just faintly hear the dualies just in a far distance, and you're like, okay, somebody's getting a duel, and it's of course it's Malbs, right, to start things off, and now a duelie maybe, but gets a little bit overwhelmed by bodies now. USPs maybe a long range, definitely an advantage, but now the Glocks are starting to slither their way into this site. Should be able to get the bomb down. Oh, that's a nice little bit of a shot coming in. Little cookie cutter one, and now the Glocks, they start to sing, and indeed, and all of a sudden it's down to the IGL on himself on a 1-on-3. I don't like this, John. He's just down to nothing here. He's got nothing to work with, and I think he's a dead man walking.
Feels like it. No kit, so he's got to go fast here, but he's not going to get any further. OC nails him to the ground with the Glock, and that'll do it. 3K for OC in that round. 8-5 for NRG, and both teams splitting the pistol rounds over these 2 maps. That looked really great for M80 at the beginning, but NRG just exploded after the bomb was planted.
They really did. And hey, John, look, it's an umps out, so we're gonna see how well Breeze does with it, and talked a little bit about this. And okay, Swisher's getting very aggressive. A nade, that's gonna be chunky. Yes, indeed.
Got another nade too.
They do. I'm gonna save it though. I'm gonna throw the curveball. I like it.
What? Another mortar strike comes in, this time hexed on the receiving end. You have 3 players hovering around half health on NRG, which really softens them up for these pistols, especially the 5.7 that's available to wreck right here. NRG have a ton of time left. They don't want to hit the panic button, and Automatic does settle things down with the frag onto Malbs. Still, Wreck has had his clutch moments. A player that can pull off some nice clips. Smoke gonna get tossed down? No, he decides against it. Molotov burning. He's got the support of Sin now. Not out of the realm of possibility for M80 to get their 6th. Also to note, if M80 wins this one and gets a clean 2-0, they will be first overall in ECL. That's where they feel they belong, I'm sure. But if they don't get this one, I think it's still going to be tied with NRG.
Yeah, so it'd be an amazing position, but also worst case again. If it goes 1-1, it's going to be a good position regardless. But I mean, hang on, hold on. Like this might be something. There's 20 seconds left. They need to get time. I mean, Rek's taking a
where are they going?
Damage, but they have 13 seconds.
Guys, what are you doing?
They have no time. There's no way you're going to be able to make this.
No,
if they do,
there's no time. There's no time.
There's definitely no time. What are they doing? Okay, well, yeah, no, that's not going to work. And look, we were talking about pressure. We're talking about, maybe. And yeah, pressures start to build up. And M80 gets around based on time management? Question mark?
I don't know what NRG are thinking in that situation. Like, why you're rotating back to the A site. There's no time at that point. You could not get to the bomb site and get the bomb planted. So they should have just executed towards B and stopped playing scared. As you saw at the end, Automatic gets 2, but it doesn't mean anything because they lost the round on time. M80 get a 6, kind of gifted to them, although they did do a good job of delaying NRG, some great utilities, some great nades that came through to push them back. but it was NRG who just didn't take the initiative. Nade and a Molotov sail into the side hall. Mulb's only down to 75, it's not too bad. And on the other side, another mortar strike comes in. Sin delivers 2 frags as well with the FAMAS from Sandbags. Looking for the third now. He's spamming through the smoke. OC down to his 32, and here comes Mulb side swiping with the MP9. It is all M80 in this round.
Okay, things are starting to look a little bit better here in M80. Feeling pretty good about that last round victory. So this is really starting to show a little bit as Hex is the last player alive with the Tech 9 and armor. And he's just playing Survivor. He's just trying to see what he can do. Maybe get himself a couple duels. Maybe. But I do not like the way this could be for him. Mulb's giving his shoulder a little bit. Now they 100% know where he is. And Swish will get the job done. Okay, we're talking about 1 round of a differential here from a tie game. Money is still going to suck. So NRG are not going to be putting anything expensive on this, I would imagine. But yeah, this is a tough one because we have a big potential of a tie game. Definitely not a guarantee. Let's just, put that caveat in there. But again, very good odds here from M80 to get themselves back into an equal footing, which is something I wasn't sure if we were going to see it.
Yeah, and I mean, NRG are kind of to blame for M80 getting back into this one. They are the ones that made that mistake, and I saw it against the Party Astronauts in the Revival Cup. They had a 4v2 advantage in that situation, and for whatever reason, with 45 seconds left, they didn't push the bomb site until there were 15 seconds remaining on the clock and lost the round on time. Not because they messed up their execute. So that's another similar decision that's made where you're like, what is the reason behind it? So I think there's still some work out on that side. But they need to be a little sharper in that regard. Didn't cost them against Party Astronauts, but they had to go to quad overtime to actually take that. Oh, it's just a slaughter, as expected. The Glocks are out, and it's all M80.
Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, nice little bit of a cleanup. Like you said, it was a bit of a meat grinder round, and we are back to a tie game. Okay, so we're going to finally see the guns out, but again, it's not even really a full gun round, and I mean that in the nicest way because, again, you have to have a Galil's. Like, don't get me wrong, I love a good Galil action, but it's not going to be the same. It doesn't hit the same as an AK, but at least they can work with something on this, but even a double FAMAS remaining, and even a Galil as well from the CT side, so this will be a very interesting round just because of the weapons. And it might change up the playstyle just a little bit, right? Because these are the rifles that are very good up close and that medium range just with the fire rate, but not looking like it's the start right now. And NRG, they find the first man advantage again.
NRG trying to recover after losing a few rounds in a row here.
Wow. I mean, that's the thing too, like that's something that M80 have unfortunately had to deal with a lot is like when they lose the first player, it just makes that such a more difficult situation to bring things back to a 4-4 or find an engagement to get the double. Now Hex throwing some interesting utility, going to be thrown again. Ooh, Slock's doing some decent damage. A little bit of tenderizing here against Automatic. And a flash comes in onto ramp, but Automatic might have the timing of the swing potentially. He's giving it away now with the molly throw. Thankfully, Sin's able to get out of it, but Red can't find it, and just like that, a 1-2 combination, maybe make it 3. Yeah, why not? Throw a jab in there. This is making it even worse and worse. Slock's by himself with no HP to spare, and we're going to see NRG once again. They lose 1 casualty to get themselves a lead.
Nicely done from NRG. That's the recovery they were hoping to find, and very decisive in that round. It's just those few, like, and let's be clear here, guys. At the beginning of when NRG first started this new roster, when they first formed this roster, it was a lot more troubling in terms of decision making, in terms of some of the plays they were making, a lot of head scratchers. Here, now it's more few and far between, right? We see the rounds, and the problem is some of the decision making is so egregious in those rare instances that we have to talk about it to a certain extent. And whoop. Oh. Still here, Les? Oh.
Are you here?
Yeah, we froze.
Yeah,
I'm just making sure it's not me, but
it's like
but
mission
yeah.
control. Are we okay? We good? And yeah,
I had a bit of an issue. But I guess to finish my thought there, it's just some of these decisions are so very questionable that we have to talk about to an extent. Like, why is this happening? And I mean, it's easy stuff to fix. They just gotta have some time to practice and get their chemistry a little bit better.
Yeah, again, that's such a good point, John, because again, I think, for NRG, like I'm so impressed with what we're seeing already. I think they just need some more time as well, but M80 have really been on this, big, streak of just games and like leagues and opportunities have been able to play. And I think that's what's really made them just strive a lot better. But I mean, the fact that we're still talking about NRG, going toe to toe right now, that's still a very, very
Yeah,
impressive thing. And I can't take that away from them.
exactly. An automatic's going to take Mobs' life away from him, though. That's a nice little headshot. Swisher gets the immediate trade. Sin's going to toss an 8. That could connect for a lot of damage. It does. Hexton Wild go down to 44 and 36 HP, and there's another nade that comes through immediately. They're both deleted. 4v2 in favor of M80. OC and Automatic, the last two standing. They should still be able to get the bomb planted, I believe. There's no Molotov here. Let's see if they toss a nade. They're trying to bait out more util. There's the nade, and OC eats it right in the face. Down to 29, pops out again, and that'll be his last peek into this round, and so will it be. Automatics. That will do it. M80 decisive on the retake, tied up 9-9.
Yeah, that was perfect, right? I mean, that's okay. Again, just kind of going back into that original point we were talking about. We're like, look, M80 have been able to play a lot of different teams, a lot of different caliber, and you can see their foundation, their structure. Just again, some pieces that we're seeing utility being thrown at the right time, the right place, knowing what role you have to do. When I do this nade, you're going to do that. And that's something a little bit lacked a little bit from NRG. But again, I can't take that away from M80 because that round was just magnificent to see, because you have Sin throwing all this utility. He's doing so much damage. Eventually, Rek throws the utility, does damage as well, and then Sin gets, the solidification of a double nade kill. So I love that we're seeing M80 looking a lot more sharp with the util usage, and it's really saved them a few times in some pretty hectic situations, all things considered. And things are a little bit more hectic because, I mean, Mobs will get some revenge for his IGL, but it is the cost of Sin going down pretty early on. But now the nades are just going to be flying. NRG are going to try to take this right away. Swisher trying his best to do everything, and man, he's just mopping them up. And M80, I think they got themselves a 10 here, John.
Oh, they absolutely should. Hex down to 51 HP, only a smoke by his side. In terms of utility, Rek and Swisher watching and waiting. It's going to have to be a crazy play from Hex, and M80 are giving him absolutely nothing. There's still 1 minute and 5 seconds left. NRG tried to go fast, and M80 just shut them down completely. There it is. The last comes through. Indeed a 10.
Okay, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Swisher had like 3 bullets in his gun, and I think he just made it at the end because I heard that's the queue and the clip's empty. So that's pretty sick. Again, relying on like no low ammo, but either way, M80 doing a great job now, coming back from a deficit, putting themselves into a lead position. This round for number 20 is not looking great here for NRG. They're just going to put pistols on the board. Automatic going to equip some utility, as well as Walco with a Molotov, and that nade lands on OC's face, and he is down to 26, and we barely have started this round.
Jeez. I mean, look, great utility from M80. A flashbang came in. I'm not even sure if it was thrown by them, but Swisher capitalized on it and was able to get a 2K. And everyone else just activated. Rek going to get 1, 2, only 2, but Swisher's right here to get another 2 for himself. Yes, it is going to be 2K. Automatic, the last one, and he's all the way on the other side. So this is indeed going to be an 11th for M80. And I think I'd like to see, like, I appreciate that NRG are trying to go for these fast plays when they are on the ecos, but I'd like to see a little bit more from them in those types of rounds, because more often than not, they're just throwing the bodies at their opponents and saying, okay, well, if it doesn't work, then we go on to the next round. But those are the types of situations where you can catch your opponent off guard. You can pull off those kind of miraculous round victories, so to speak. And you're not usually going to get that when you're just kind of rushing out every single time.
No, exactly. And I think it's becoming a bit like, I don't want to say obvious, I don't think it's the right word,
note.
but it's definitely, yeah, it's a note to make, right? You're like, okay, look, if they're on an eco, they're going to be aggressive. They're going to get in our face. They're going to try to do something quick. So I think that's a tendency you're picking up, right? So I do agree. I would like NRG to kind of slow things down a little bit, not make it such a common thing to be known for, but we'll see now. I mean, look, it's going to be 5 AKs across the board here. They do have quite a bit of utility available. It's a great position to be in. So this is a big test And I mean, the op's going to be available from Slacks. I
Oh
say his
boy.
name once, he makes something happen. He takes down a heavy hitter like Hex, somebody that statistically is one of their best players. So that's already a nice pickup here from M80, and they're looking good. They are not usually the team to find an opening duel in their advantage. And right now, maybe an opportunity for
Oh
more.
my
Yes,
god.
they do.
That was a Colat. That was a Colat from Slacks, but it went through, I think, the wall and then a body, so it doesn't kill Breeze. He limps away with 4 HP.
Lucky to be alive.
Slacks, yeah, he's just popping off right now. And Sin, along with Mobs, waiting at this A site. They've got a good defense across the map here. It's up to NRG to find a way to crack through it. They've still got a decent chunk of util, and they're going to decide to go up this ramp here.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of options, so they got to go for something here. Utility's going to be dispersed stuff now. The smokes are coming through. Mulp's playing a decently tight angle, but the smoke does land in front of him, but he's waiting for his teammates to throw the flash so he can go for the swing. It's all about this timing. Sin just posted up, and there it is. That's the perfect flash we were looking for. And who other than Mulps to look for multi-frags, and now leaving it to the IGL of NRG to keep himself in some kind of contention. He's not going to be long for this world, surely, and Mulps gets it done with a triple kill, and now they're a map point John once again.
It's almost the repeat of what happened on Ancient, right? We had a very tightly contested affair, back and forth. NRG were getting the lead at certain points, but M80 kept wrestling it back, and then on the tail end of the map, M80 just took full control. And now, well, look at what we're seeing again. It's M80 on the tail end of the map, starting to run away with it. NRG take a timeout. They lose this one, it's over. So they want to talk it over and say, what can we possibly do here? How can we break through this defense that's stymied us seemingly time and time again over these last few?
Yeah, and it's definitely the right call, right? I mean, it's the first one in this game for them. I was kind of thinking they might have done it a little bit earlier, but I think they felt they were in semi-decent control. I mean, look, the gap's not that big, but I mean, now you're talking about a situation where you had the first half in your lead. Now it's kind of, you've lost control of this. M80 now pushing map point, series point on this. So yeah, this is not a great position for them to be in. And even Walco, like his money situation is not the greatest. Like after the armor, he's sitting at $2,400. So it's, again, like you have to go for all the utility. He's that support player, the IGL, and it's the cost of a Mac 10. So not the weapon you want on a map like Vertigo.
Here they come. NRG just going for the straight push. Automatic's burning alive here, and there we go. The nade finishes him off from Malbs. NRG looked like they wanted to go for the quick play and then said, oh, wait, hold up. And by that point, when they're holding up, they're eating a bunch of util, Automatic in particular. He dies without him having any impact. And Swisher, the jumping AK headshot on Walco with the boost. Unbelievable. Wreck and Mob's going to get another 2. This one is probably over. Breeze at the B site has the bomb, might be able to plant it, but Rek and Swisher have already made the adjustment, and Swisher hits the killing shot to end this map